Now on BBC Two, another tale from Europe with Zigzag.
Bacon. I do like a nice bit of bacon, I don't mind telling you. Start the day with a rasher or two and you won't go far wrong. That's what my old mum always used to say. Mind you, my old mum always used to say such daft things. I never paid very much attention to her. Swiss chocolate. Just a nibble or two. German sausage. Very tasty. And a little drop of Dutch Edam. As a general rule, I'm not keen on supermarkets. A bit bright, you know. Pain in the eye to someone like me. But then I do get peckish from time to time. Spanish watermelons. Very nice. Otherwise, I'd never step inside one. Never. But then I say, Molly, got to look after yourself. Got to put something in your stomach. Especially when you're going on a journey. Cheerio for now. You'll have noticed that I keep myself to myself. Generally keep a pretty low profile. Put it quite plainly, you can't afford to be too much in the public eye when you have urgent missions to go on. Very handy these tents are. I can put one up wherever I like. Convenient for undercover work. The trouble with living underground is it's no joke getting the shopping back home. And it's almost impossible getting the papers delivered. Oh, paper boys these days, total wimps. But I wouldn't live anywhere else. I don't mind telling you. No. The hypersonic mole is home. I'll put these away later. I've got places to go and countries to visit. The hypersonic mole can take me where I like, underground, anywhere in the world. Tunnels through rock like a ferret up your trousers. Good little runner. Only one lady owner from you. And if there is any rust, well, you can't see it in the dark anyway. But there's no point in having a magnificent machine if you haven't got a mission to go on. And I have. If I can just get at my computer. Oh, I was wondering where that had gone. I'll just switch on the screen. Well, that's my girl. Where are we off to now, then? Switzerland. Oh, very nice. I flew over Switzerland last year. Took a lot of lovely snaps. That's me in my ultrasonic bat. That's last year's model. Into flying I was then, before I got hooked on tunnelling. When I was up there, I took loads of photos out of the window. I've got them stored on here somewhere. Oops, oh no, not those photos. Ah, that's better. Now that is Birmingham from above. And as I went higher and higher, I took more and more photos out of the window. And it cost me an absolute fortune at the chemist getting the film developed. Eventually, I was miles up. And as I went higher, Ireland started to come into view.
And after that, it was Scotland's turn. Bonnie Scotland! And by now I could see more of Europe too. See it? That's that big chunk of land over there to the right of Britain.
That's what these missions are all about, really, because especially from 1992, Britain is really part of Europe, and I, for one, intend to be in there finding out what's what. So look out, Europe! Here I come! Ready or not? And as for getting there, photos are okay, but better still are maps, like this weather map. On a map, you can add whatever information you want to know. So on a weather map, you can put on sun, rain and temperatures to show what the weather's going to be like. And on other sorts of maps, like travel maps, I can show the places and countries I'm interested in, like Britain and Switzerland. Because Switzerland is where we're going on our first mission. You ready? Let's go! Chocks away! Hypersonic speed! I'll show you our route on the map if you like. We head down south through England and then go under that stretch of water that separates Britain from the rest of Europe. That's known as the Channel. And after that, it's full steam ahead for Switzerland. We're making very good time. So I think we'll cruise along on automatic pilot for a bit, while I have a little something to put me in the mood. I've been preparing everything. Got all the food, got all the flags. Different food from different countries. So which is Switzerland's flag? I'll give you a clue. It's red with a white cross. And that means Swiss chocolate. Oh! Oh! Was that the chocolate? Oh no! It was us arriving! Stop engines! Right. Let's have a look at you, Switzerland. Periscope. Check. Oh, hello, cow. As I expected. Mountains. They're called the Alps, the biggest mountain range in Europe.
For much of the year, the Alps are covered in snow, and that makes them very good for skiing. But there's much more to Switzerland than mountains and skiing. There are cities like Bern. The German word for bears is Bären, and that's where Bern gets its name from. Bears, Bären, Bern, the city of bears. You don't have to go far to see bears in Bern. They are all around you. And there are real live bears at the bear pit. This is one of the most well-known places in Bern.
As you can see, I'm very fond of bears myself. In fact, Esperanto here is my constant travelling companion. Yeah. He hasn't got much in the way of brains. But then neither do I, so it doesn't really matter. From time to time, I entertain him with a story from this special book. He's going to like today's one because it's all about bears and the city of Bern. Perhaps you'd like to listen to it as well? Our first tale from Europe. The Army of Bears.
Once upon a time, there was a king of Bern called Bergondes. Bergondes was a good ruler, but sometimes he liked to leave his castle and his courtiers to go hunting on his own. One day he met a bear, a huge, fierce bear. The two of them fought, and the king was knocked to the ground. Eventually the bear ran away, but so too did the king's horse, so he had a long walk home. When the king finally got back to his castle, he was in for another shock. An enemy army from Burgundy had invaded and captured his castle. The king tried to fight his way through, but his opponents were too many. They cut him down and left him there for dead. After several days, he came to his senses. What was he to do now? He had lost his kingdom, his wife Rowena and the rest of his loved ones were imprisoned in the castle, and he was all on his own. Sadly, he turned away to the woods and walked and walked. Just as he was on the point of despair, a dog appeared. The dog was called Rab, and he belonged to an old man who lived in the depths of the woods. Rab knew that his master could help the king and led Bergondes off to meet the hermit. The hermit's name was Wilfrid, and he had the power of speaking to animals. When he had heard the king's story, he knew what had to be done. "Go," he said to his raven, "go and find the king of the bears." Bergondes was puzzled. The king of the bears? What use could he be? "Ah," said Wilfrid, "I once cured him with herbs, so he will help you now as a favour to me." After a week, the raven returned. "I have found him, master. Follow me." And off they all set. Day after day they travelled on with the raven leading the way. Higher and higher they climbed, further and further into the mountains, until finally they reached their destination, the kingdom of the bears. The king of the bears greeted Wilfrid warmly. But when he was asked to help Bergondes, he growled angrily. "Help the man who hunts me and my cousins? Why should I?" But eventually, he agreed. "Old man, I am in your debt, so I will help this friend of yours. I will summon my army." With that, he moved onto a rock and roared out his royal summons. From all around the mountains there were answering growls and roars, and one by one, the bears began to gather. When they were all ready, the king gave his order, "Sound the advance!" "Forward to Bern, my soldiers! Death or victory!" News of their approach had reached the king of the Burgundians, and he had drawn up his army outside the castle walls. With a mighty bellow, the bears launched their attack, hurling hailstones at the enemy like bullets. The Burgundians fought fiercely, but they were no match for the bears, and at length the king of the Burgundians galloped away, never to be seen again. With joyful heart, Burgondes re-entered Bern to be reunited with Rowena and the rest of his family. And that night they had a splendid feast to which all were invited. Next day, everyone turned out to say goodbye to the bears, and before he left, the king of the bears handed over his banner. "Take it," he said. "A good battle, well fought. Remember it." And with that, the bears disappeared into the mists of the mountains. But their banner remained behind in Bern, and there it can be seen to this very day. Next week, another country, another story, and another mission for Project Europe. See you there!
Zigzag have produced a book of the Tales of Europe. You can get an order form for that and for the teacher's notes by calling BBC Education Information on 081 746 1111. Tomorrow afternoon on BBC Two, Music Time presents a musical version of Hans Christian Andersen's story, The Emperor and the Nightingale. That's at 1:40 tomorrow.